The Lead. Sponsored by Lavish Boutique, Lavish Coffee, Jasper Veterinary Clinic, Jasper Bone and Joint, and Carl Cannon Chevrolet Buick GMC.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Greg Tinker for The Lead, and it is my great pleasure and honor today to have football superstar with us, Myron Mitchell. He star at Walker High School and then at UAB, and now has a new opportunity, and we'll talk about that. Myron, welcome.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me. It's good to be here.
Oh, we're glad that you're here today. You're one of those young men that make all of us proud. Any of us who know you are glad to say that and to be able to say to others, hey man, I knew him when, right?
Definitely.
Back in middle school days or high school days. And now he has just recently signed with Winnipeg in the CFL. So Myron, tell us how that came about and give us a little bit of background there.
Right. They reached out about a week ago once they knew I was on the radar after I got released from my previous team. So they reached out to my agent, gave me the runaround, and it was about 2 or 3 days later to where it was up to me. It was my decision, and I just went what would be right, what felt right to me, and I felt like in that situation and at that moment that was the right move. So I signed what I did, and I signed the contract, and it was a big relief more than anything. So I'm still blessed and happy that I get to continue my career.
So Canada. Now, I don't know if you've visited Canada before.
I haven't.
But you've been in Minnesota.
Right.
So Winnipeg is not too far from Minnesota, a little bit north, kind of, if you split North Dakota and Minnesota and go north, Winnipeg's right there.
Okay.
So right in the middle of the country of Canada, which is a big space,
Right.
right? So a lot of air travel is going to be involved in that.
Definitely.
And fortunately for you, the season begins in May, and so you get to have a Canadian summer, but then it turns into fall. And I don't know how that's going to be up there in Winnipeg. I don't know if you like cold weather or not.
Definitely not at all. Minnesota was cold, so I got a little trial run, but I don't like the cold at all, but it's a part of the game. It's something that I signed up to do. So however I get through it, however I choose to get through it, I'm going to get through it. But
sure.
The cold is not.
Yeah. Well, we're excited for you to have this opportunity in the Canadian Football League. And you told me something that I did not know. I'm not I don't follow Canadian football very closely, but that out of a roster of, say, 54, 55 players, they only keep 22 Americans.
22 Americans. So it's definitely going to be a grind, a real long grind, coming in ready to compete. So, I mean, rules are rules. Got to live with it, deal with it. So I'm really ready for whatever I put myself into. So I'm looking forward to it.
So when do you actually show up for camp?
May 6th.
Okay, so right away.
Yeah, definitely. I'll do some paperwork for a couple of days, and then I'll be on the field May 8th.
Okay. So let's go back and talk about the beginning of everything for you. You played a lot of sports growing up, multiple sports, because you're athletic, very talented. But somewhere along the way, you kind of decided football's my deal. Kind of talk about that, playing all the sports, and then at some point you realized, hey, I like this game.
Right. Once you figure out, or once you get to the age and mature a little, and once you realize that, all right, I'm not giving the game my all, or I'm not waking up ready to do it, or some days I'm giving it my all, some days I'm giving it my half. So once I realized that, and that was about the end of my 11th grade career, that's when I just took the whole summer and focused on one sport, and that was football. I loved waking up, going to practice, 3-4 hours. I just love running around catching the football. So I knew that was something that I could dedicate my life to. And I just wanted to see where it would take me if I put my all into it. So I would say the end of my 11th grade year.
You were an exciting player at Walker High School. I know there's a lot of highlights from that period of time. But if you can focus on one or two from your career at Walker, what would they be?
Plays or just highlights?
Or whatever. You choose.
I say one highlight that really just shaped me into the man I am today would have to be Getting my scholarship taken away the first time, I originally committed to Hines Community College, and they took away my scholarship. It was a numbers thing. Somebody didn't qualify, so I was only a hard commit, but that's where I knew I was going. So once they took that away from me, I expressed how badly I wanted to play college ball to Coach Bruner. He was the head coach at the time, and within 2 days, he had me a couple offers from some schools in Kansas. So I didn't even know where Kansas was. So I'm asking how far is that? He telling me like 13 hours from here, Jasper. So I'm like, so I talked it over with my mom. I just decided that I wanted to do it. So I would say having something taken away so early, thinking that this is the plan, and having Coach Bruno in my ear, this may not be the plan or this might be the plan, but you have to do this to get to where you want to be. So I have to say going through that so early, that's what really shaped me into what I am today. And I would say as far as football play-wise, I can't give a game because there's so many highlights. I would just have to say practice, just how intense the practice was with Alex Medina, Garrett Davenport, Joe, what's his last name, Manasco? Who else? I don't want to really miss anybody. Jeremiah Hammond. It was just so competitive. So I would just have to say practice, coming to compete every day. I knew they was going to give their all, and they knew I was going to give my all. So it was just creating that brotherhood in high school. I would say that's the best thing.
Yeah, the camaraderie of it all,
Definitely.
which is true in football or any sport, but especially in football when you're banging heads every day, right?
Definitely.
And competing. So some of those relationships, I'm sure you still have to this day.
For sure. All of them. It's just a phone call away, a DM away, and communicate.
So you went on to JUCO, and from there, got an opportunity at UAB to come back home.
Definitely.
And boy, that had to, you talk about the disappointment of Hines, but then there had to be equally that much joy when you figure out
For sure.
it's going to be UAB. Talk about that.
Well, once I made that decision, I knew it was the right decision. It was back home. Once I got to community college in Kansas, I was homesick for about the first few weeks. That's pretty normal once you're so far away from home. But once UAB did come in the picture, I knew off rip that's where I was going. At the time, I was committed to Texas Tech, and I decommitted from there to come back home. It just made things easier for me and my family and my close friends, and just really the county. They could come watch me play and see me in person rather than flipping the channel, paying a subscription to watching me play. So that was the most thing I was excited about, having my people being able to come watch me play.
And I know they did every home game. I know they were there then at Legion Field to watch you play. What was that like, having people that you knew sitting in the stands coming up afterwards? And I'm sure maybe some of the folks getting autographs,
Right.
Once you get to that level and you're able to sign an autograph, it's like, I have arrived, right?
Definitely. It's cool. I just know on my end that I have to do what I have to do during practice to be prepared for that moment to make a play. Of course, you want to see them. You want to give them something to watch. So I just go into it knowing that I'm going to make a big play, and the big plays that I am making is for the people that came to watch me play. So that's really all to it. Just make the play so they can have something to cheer about.
And you did make big plays. Is there one or two of those that stands out? Are there one or two of those that stands out?
Definitely. I would say when I first got to UAB, my first game as a Blazer, as a D1 football player, the kick return, I would say that was the highlight, the 99-yard kick return. That was my first time ever touching the ball in a real game, and it was a touchdown. So I could never forget that. And I say that's the biggest highlight.
I think for all of us who watched your career, that would be the thing that we say too is, our hometown guy catches the ball and runs it back for a touchdown.
Definitely.
Was very exciting, and you went on to have a stellar career from there.
Yes, sir.
Obviously, that gave you an opportunity to go to the next level. But before we talk about that, just talk about how difficult it really is to play at that level? Because there are folks who say, well, he was good in high school, so he could just play college football. Well, it's not that simple, is it? When you're
Right.
talking about D1, you play JUCO, and there's great levels of JUCO football, obviously.
For sure.
But then when you step up to D1, it's a whole other thing. Talk about that a little bit.
So at the university, I mean, everybody is good. You can't go into it thinking that you are the top dog, because you have been the top dog, community college or high school, but everybody is the top dog in college. So I really separated myself more so of doing extra before practice, after practice, because I knew just going to practice, practicing with the team, it wasn't gonna accomplish anything, or I wasn't gonna achieve anything. So I mean, everybody is good. Everybody is great, talented, God-given ability. I wasn't a 5, 3-star, 2-star coming out of high school. I went against so many 5-stars in college ball just playing at UAB. So I say I really just separated coming in before practice, after practice, watching film, extra workouts, really diving into my craft, making sure I know what I'm doing. What's the DB gonna do before he do it? Like, those are the things that you have to know. It's hard to do it, but you have to know it. If you have to know this play, you have to understand why it's being called. If he calling it for this guy, you got to understand I need to run this amount of yards or this deep and break it off here. But you don't know that if you don't really dig deep into your craft. Like, if you have a test on Friday, but if you don't prepare Monday through Thursday, you fail on Friday. So I just took that into football into regular life, and we here today.
So at what point did Coach Clark or somebody else come to you and say, hey, Myron, I've watched how hard you're working, and I appreciate that, and you've earned the opportunity to be a 1 as opposed to a 2 or a 3, whatever. Right. Was there a moment where one of the coaches came to you and actually recognized the extra you're putting in?
Yes, sir. I would say coming off my red shirt year when I first got to UAB, I didn't play. I had the red shirt. Had to figure some things out academically, got through that. And so I would say just right before fall camp, going into my red shirt junior year, Coach Clark, I actually went to go talk to him. What can I do to be the number 1, and what can I do to get number 5? And he told me, just come out and compete every day. Show me that you want to be here. Show me you want to be the number 1. Show me that you deserve to wear number 5. And just show me that it means something to you. So once we had that talk, I knew every day I had to come in and be not perfect, but perfect. You can't be perfect in this profession. So I was almost perfect every single day. And that's just something that I love doing, just trying to be perfect. What can I do? What can I do to separate myself? So going into my red shirt junior year, I knew, my teammates knew, my coaches knew that I was going to be the guy at UAB.
So that has paid off. You had, again, a very prolific career at UAB. You know, when everybody knows your name, you know you've had a good career, right? And so everybody knew who Myron Mitchell was. So you graduate and you get some opportunities now to play some pro ball. And that's been a bit of a journey. So walk us through those different stops and the challenges of that.
So we ended up in Minnesota, my first year, my rookie year. Going into it, it was difficult. It was very, very, very difficult. I want the people to know it was very hard. It was a lot of stuff that I didn't know. It took this much time and effort just to go play football, just to do something I've been doing for so long. So I had to learn how to be a professional. I even called back home to my mom, like this a lot. Like it's truly a lot. It's a lot. But you know, I've been doing it for so long. So once I kind of got over that little hurdle of being there so long, the wear and tear, mentally tired, mentally drained. Once I got past that hurdle, it was better for me. to be honest, I didn't know whether I was gonna make the team, practice squad. I just went in with a clear mind, and I just came ready to work every day. So I survived a season practice squad. I was activated one game, Monday Night Football, Chicago Bears. We finished through the season. Going into year 2 preseason, I had a great year. It was talks about wide receiver 6 competing for that spot. So I thought I was in there, and things didn't plan out that way. I got released, and so I sat out for a year of football. I just took that time to train, get in shape. And so the Stallions reached out. They actually came to UAB looking for me. Some coaches called, reached out. And so I made that decision after a year later. So now I'm here. We finished a season with the Stallions last year, won the championship. Wish I could have did more for the team, but things all happen for a reason. That was a great experience also, just being back in Birmingham again after being let down or having that dream being crushed after you do sign professional or you have that professional experience. So that was big, being able to come back home once again.
Where's the ring?
I don't have it. I actually don't have it. I have a few rings. I think I've got about 4 rings now in total. Yep.
Yeah, I got that championship ring though, right?
Definitely.
Yeah, well, we were excited when you signed with the Stallions because, again, you were back home, close to home, where we could watch you play, and it's going to be a little bit more of a trip to Winnipeg. I don't know how many from Jasper will make that trip.
Yeah.
I'm sure your family probably will. So you've done the NFL, you've done the USFL, and now it's the UFL. But now you're going to do the CFL, the Canadian Football League. So you've had some challenges, as we've talked about, but you've persevered, which is a challenge. You said you took that year off, kind of get your body in shape, get your head clear about, all right, this is a different kind of thing, because when you go professional, in college you got people with you all the time, go here, do this, do that, you're kind of taken care of, right? But when you're a professional, it's like, okay, you're on your own,
for
right?
sure.
You got to do your own thing.
Yeah, definitely.
And boy, that is a difference, especially if you don't have one of the older guys kind of come alongside you and put their arm around you and say, hey, Myron, let me show you how this is done.
Right.
And a lot of folks talk about those experiences where guys do. And sometimes they don't. Sometimes you're just left on your own.
For sure.
So talk about the willingness to keep chasing the dream and the perseverance that takes. And this would be good for those guys who are a little bit younger that maybe like you, are thinking, okay, football's my deal, or whatever, basketball, baseball, and or the ladies who are talking about softball or basketball. So this can be a message to them through you of what it takes to persevere to do that.
Right. I would say you have to know that it's going to be hard, that it's going to be tough. I'm glad that I'm going through this now because it was a whole 360 that I had to do, because I've always been at the top. High school, community college. I've always been at the top of the game. So once I got released and I had to recourse, change paths, it was hard. It was hard. I had to climb back to my faith. I had to push back on my faith. I had to talk with God. It's so much more than just getting up, working out, thinking that you love a sport. Once you get it taken away and you really don't know the reason and you really don't know what's next, all you can do is just fall back to what you know, and that is getting up every day, doing the best you can, whether that's football, basketball, whatever that may be, a nurse, a doctor. You have to put time and effort into the thing that you want to do. You can't do it just by half effort or having it handed to you. It's only so many people that reach this profession that I'm in. So knowing that, I know I have to work 10 times harder, whether that's in the weight room, in the film room. Even if I know I'm better than this person, I still have to prove it, just because where I come from is not as exposed to where he might have come from, and that's been my situation, every situation I'm in. So I've always been at the bottom of the depth chart, bottom of the bottom, whatever you can think of, name of. I've been there, I've done it. But then again, I always seen the bigger picture. I know what I want to do. I want to play football. I love football. I feel like football is a lot easier than going to clock in at a job and going to work. Football is the easy part. The real world, that's the hard part to me. So I feel like the grind is going to be the grind. For me, it was hard. I mean, I thought about giving up. I would be lying if I said I didn't think about giving up. I did think about giving up, but I did also think about what I've been through, where will I be if I keep going, if I keep pushing, if I keep having faith, if I keep getting knowledge, if I keep just doing right, giving game to the youth, telling the youth wrong from right. So I feel like long as you put yourself in the right situation, the right environment, you only can get good. So and at this point right now, I'm just trying to put myself in the best situation, in the right environment, and hopefully I get the best results out of that.
Well, that's a nice segue into this question. We'll finish up with these two things. So hopefully it's going to work out in Winnipeg. You're going to have a good long career there, play as long as you want to. But as you know from being around it, that comes to an end for most guys, even the best of the best, by age 30.
For sure.
So you're 5 years away from that. So what are you thinking past football?
So after football, I say I give the game around 6 years, 6 more years. So I plan on hanging the cleats up when I'm 30, 31, and I just plan on giving back what I've learned back to the youth, being a high school coach, whether that's here, whether that's Texas, whether that's Florida, wherever the case may be. I want to be not a head coach, but just a coach in general. That could be a head coach, that could be a receiver coach, but that's the goal, that's the plan. I mean, I know if the youth would have, not saying that they don't, but if I even would have had somebody in my ear just knowing that you could do it at an early age, no telling how things would have turned out. So I know I could be that voice to whoever that kid may be, and I want to be that voice for that kid. So I plan on giving my time to the youth when I'm around 31 years old, and plan on doing that about 6 to 7 years.
Well, I suspect you might have had some conversations with Coach Prothrow at
sure.
Jasper High, right?
For sure.
In relation to that, I'm sure
For
he's
sure.
encouraged you maybe in that direction.
For sure.
Yeah.
Along as Coach Jordan. They would love to have me there, but I can't commit to something that I can't give my all to, my time, and I'm still chasing my dream right now, and
Sure.
and that's where everything is going. But after I'm done, I definitely I would like to come back to Jasper and stick it out a year or two just to see where I end up after, or where that takes, or where that leads. But coming back home, that's definitely in the picture. I would love to do it and see how it's grown from then. I'll be 31 when I come back, hopefully, or whatever I choose to do. I'll be 31 doing it, and that's just giving free game, the knowledge that I've learned throughout my career, giving it back to the youth.
I don't think there's any doubt you'll have plenty of opportunities. That's down the road. Let's focus on Winnipeg and
For sure.
making the roster
For
and,
sure.
and having a career there. So what part has your family played in all of this?
A very big part, especially my mom. She's the person that I call when I'm up, when I'm down, when I'm level-headed, when I've made a mistake. And just the immediate family, it plays a big part. That's the thing that keeps me going. I know that they looking for me to complete the mission. I'm looking to complete the mission as well. So having them at every game, or at least my mom at every game, home, away, I look for her often, and that's the first person I look for. It just feel good having them behind you, whether you're doing bad, you're doing good, you had a good game, you had a bad game, the love gonna always be the same. I know they're gonna be in the crowd. I really can't even focus until I find everybody that I know is in the crowd. So that's probably the best feeling ever, to have that type of support behind you.
Well, I know that they are immediately and the most important because of your family. But you got a big family here in Jasper.
For sure.
And there's a whole lot of us who have followed your career and are very excited about this next chapter. And we certainly wish you the best. We're proud of what you've already accomplished.
Thank you.
You've made our whole city proud. You are our representative. You know that.
You're right.
And we're all proud to say that Myron Mitchell is one of our own. And we're looking forward to you making the roster at Winnipeg. And I guess a whole lot of us will be watching a whole lot more Canadian football.
Definitely.
at least when Winnipeg's on.
Definitely.
And so go ahead and buy your winter gear, okay? Get ready for that, because I think there will be a few pretty heavy snowfalls in the fall before the Grey Cup game in November.
Yep.
But man, any way we can help you, always call on us if we can do that. But just know this, that we are pulling for you, cheering for you. We always have, and we always will. We're proud of you regardless, but pulling for you in this next phase of your career.
Thank you. I really appreciate you.
Well, it's, yeah. Take the Sharpie there and sign the lead poster. It'd be anywhere you want to.
Let's do it.
With that number 5.
Let's do it.
I noticed in looking at some Facebook posts, your mom has a variety of jerseys. Which one? I guess she wears whichever one you're at the time, right?
Wherever I'm at. We have a wide selection of jerseys.
Yeah, put it right there under Coach Medlock. There's some space there. You see his at the
right
top?
there.
Yeah, right there, Mike. I know you know Coach Medlock well.
Yes, sir.
Don't forget to put number 5 up there if that's what you want to put.
There we go.
Yeah, there we go.
Perfect.
It's getting more valuable all the time.
Oh,
At
yeah,
some point, we're
definitely.
going to auction this off, and so
It's a good thing to have.
Yeah.
Good thing to see.
So 78 Magazine is a part of this. Actually, the lead and 78 Magazine are sisters, if you will, brothers or sisters. So always pick up a copy of 78 Magazine wherever you may be in town or around. They're always free to a good home. And feature articles, and we've had a feature article on you before in 78 Magazine, so you can go back in the archives and see that article on Myron. It has been absolute honor and pleasure today to talk with Myron. And how can they connect with you? I'm sure you have an Instagram.
Yes, sir.
So if you want to encourage Myron in his pursuit of this next phase, tell us how to...
Instagram _Mitch5. Same thing with Twitter. Just type in my name, my account will pop up. Facebook, Myron Mitchell. Just type in my name. It'll pop up as well.
Well, there you go. Like and follow and take an interest in his career moving forward. And it never hurts to have some encouragement, right?
Definitely. Love to hear it. It's always good to hear.
Yeah.
All ears always open.
And he might even, when he has a break, if you have a school group or a church group or something like that, and you would want somebody to come and talk about what it's like to work hard and pursue your dream, I can't think of a better person than Myron. So give him a call, and I'm sure you'll be glad to do that, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I look forward to doing things like that. Whatever to help the community, I'm with it. I'm here. I'm from here, and we all in this together. So whatever I can do to help, I would love to help.
Okay, so you've heard it straight from Myron. So give him a call or connect with him on any of those platforms. And in the meantime, this is Greg Tinker for The Lead saying good afternoon.
The Lead, sponsored by Lavish Boutique, Lavish Coffee, Jasper Veterinary Clinic, Jasper Bone and Joint, and Carl Cannon Chevrolet Buick GMC.